one hand, the dragon banner, symbol of the elite guards who protected the air, and by extension the kingdom itself. A black dragon coiled on a gold background. A cluster of 7 brilliant stars studded the gold field above the dragon's figure. She traced this constellation with her gaze to remind herself of what it stood for, the crown of stars worn by the ruler of the ancient empire, half forgotten now in the world of humankind, but destined to return. It was for this she had made the sacrifice. By this time, aided by her hesitation, the young prince had pulled his horse up beside her. Torches threw wings of light over the ruins, and their heat surrounded her like a prison built with walls of fire. "Why did you follow me?" she asked. "You knew I intended to leave." "How can you leave?" he demanded like a child wailing against being abandoned. But he was so young, barely a man, only 18 years old according to the calendars of this world. With an effort, he schooled his expression to one of haughty disdain and tried a different path. "Surely you will stay until the child is a year or 2 old, so you might know that it lives and thrives. No disease known to you will touch him, nor will any wound inflicted by any creature, male or female, cause his death." She spoke without thinking. A murmur like the breath of wind through a forest passed through the assembled soldiers, those close enough to hear her prophecy, whispering her words to those who stood farther away. The old soldier urged his horse forward to halt beside the young prince. The dragon banner lapped over the saddle, brushing the young man's arm. At that moment the bundle stirred. The baby woke, batting aside the swaddling with blind infant groping. She saw the black shock of hair that crowned the baby's head, the tiny face and its open, staring eyes, as vivid as fine green jade, its skin that marked it as flesh of her flesh, a fine, burnished bronze, nothing like the northern pallor of the young prince's complexion, even where it was roughened by exposure to sun and wind. The tiny hand closed on a corner of the dragon banner, gripping it with infant strength. The men-at-arms pointed and exclaimed over this omen. The bastard child born of no human woman sensed its fate already, though it was not yet 2 months old. The prince turned his face away, not wanting to look. Instead, he carefully, so carefully, handed the baby over to the old soldier, who gave the banner into another man's hands in order to hold the infant. Then he dismounted, gestured to his men to move away, and faced her. "You care nothing for the child." She did not look after the old soldier as he guided his horse to a patch of ground less racked with loose stone and sudden sharp drop-offs that might catch a horse unawares. "He is no longer mine." "How can you say so? He is the most beautiful child I have ever seen." "Only because he is yours. Yours as well. Not mine. I carried it inside me, gave birth to it, bled enough blood to cover the fields that surrounded the village we just passed through. Never mine, and never meant to be. Leave me, Henri." She'd never learned the Eastern accent and still spoke his name as a Salian would. "I never promised you anything but the child. Let me go in peace." The young man said nothing for a long time, or at least, not in words. He had an expressive face, but he was learning to control it. She wondered, watching him, what he wanted to say, and what he would say. When she had first met him a year ago, he'd always blurted out the first words that came to his tongue. Now, made heir by right of fertility, he was learning to think before he spoke. "I do not want to let you go," he said at last. "By the invocation of your name, Elliott, I beg you to stay with me." "Elliott is not my name, Henri. It is only what you call me." "You aren't well enough to go. You were so ill after the birth." "I am well enough now." "Then why did you come to me? Don't you love me at all?" His voice broke on the last words, and